Welcome to another bonus edition of Upon Further Review.
Upon further review,
And in this edition, we'll be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Cleveland Browns. And you can catch this Week 9 matchup on November 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and that'll be aired on your local Fox affiliates. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 1-6, and the Cleveland Browns are 4-3. The Buccaneers started out with 3 straight losses, then they got a win, and then they went back to losing 3 in a row. Their first 3 losses the first 2 were at home against Carolina and St. Louis, and then the third was in Atlanta against the Falcons, where they got destroyed on that Thursday night game, where we saw history made as Devin Hester broke Deion Sanders' record there for special teams touchdowns. Then in Week 4, they picked up their first win that was against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And quite an amazing game that was, too, as they came back to win that one by 3 points with a late touchdown. Then in Week 5, they went to New Orleans and they almost beat the Saints. They got it to overtime, but they lost by a touchdown. Kyrie Irving got that touchdown in overtime to beat them. And then they ended up hosting the Ravens in Week 6, and they got destroyed in that game also. There was a bye week in Week 7, and then in Week 8, they almost beat Minnesota. It was there in Tampa. They went to overtime, and they just lost on just a heartbreaking play, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, is that fumble that was recovered by Anthony Barr, the rookie out of UCLA, on the first play of overtime. You get the fumble, and then he just runs it back in for the touchdown, and the Buccaneers fall to 1-6. In Cleveland, they started off with a loss in Pittsburgh to the Steelers, and then in Week 2, they beat New Orleans in Cleveland in the dog pound. They came back to win that one by 2 points. Then they lost to the Ravens at home, and that was a loss by 2 points. Their first loss there against the Steelers was by just 3 points, the field goal at the end. They had their bye week in Week 4. Then they went to Tennessee. They picked up their second victory as they went to 500 by coming back down 25 points. They scored 26. They won by 1 point. Just an amazing game. In Week 6, they ended up beating Pittsburgh as they evened up their record against their division rival there. As they ended up winning big, too, in Cleveland. They won by 3 touchdowns. They lost by 3 points in Pittsburgh. They won by 3 touchdowns in Cleveland. Then in Week 7, they went to Jacksonville, and the Jaguars beat them, as that's the only win the Jacksonville Jaguars have of the season. Of course, I wouldn't really put too much stock into that in terms of, as a deterrent against the Browns. I wouldn't detract them for that loss. Jacksonville is better than people give them credit for, and understandably, the 1-7, it's easy to poo-poo on them, but they're not that bad. Well, I mean, that's my opinion anyway. So then in Week 8, they ended up hosting the Raiders, the Browns did, and they picked up another victory, and that's how they got above 500, as they're now 4-3. And now they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's not going to be an easy win despite Tampa's record, but it will be a victory. I think they learned from that Jacksonville game not to take an opponent too lightly. Of course, that was also in the road against Jacksonville. Some things happened in that game. But here at home in Cleveland, in the dog pound, I fully expect the Browns to pick up the W. Let's look at the injury report real quick. For the Buccaneers, Trendon Holiday and Brandon McGee are both going to be out. So they got Trendon Holiday at receiver, who's not going to be playing, nor Brandon McGee at linebacker. Of course, Collins and Doug Martin are also banged up, so we probably won't see the muscle hamster, Doug Martin, as he did not practice. They list him as doubtful, which means he probably won't play. Also, Anthony Collins, the tackle, he's doubtful as well. And then, you've got a couple other guys that are probable, like Vincent Jackson, but he'll probably play. But we'll see. Michael Johnson's questionable. Evan Dietrich Smith is the other probable. And then for the Cleveland Browns, of course, Joe Thomas, and also Jordan Cameron, the tight end. He's not playing, so that's going to actually hurt the Browns. Philip Taylor, he's not playing either, the defensive end. Then we have a couple players that are probable, It's Desmond Bryant, James Leonard, Barcavius Mingo, Atba Rubin, and Kawan Williams, and William Wynn. And then Rodney Smith is questionable. So that's the injury report for these two teams going into Sunday, as of Sunday. So now let's look at the statistics going into this game. When it comes to passing the ball, the Buccaneers are 28th in the NFL in passing yards per game. The Cleveland Browns are 18th. When it comes to passing defense, the Buccaneers are 30th. The Cleveland Browns are 20th. So when it comes to the passing game, the clear advantage goes to the Browns. The Browns do struggle somewhat against the pass and also passing the ball, but the Buccaneers are one of the worst teams in the NFL against the pass, statistically speaking. They do have talent, but their numbers are just in the bottom 5. They're, down there. So then we look at the running offense of both teams. The Buccaneers are 29th in the NFL in running the ball. The Cleveland Browns are 12th. When it comes to run defense, the Buccaneers are 23rd, and the Browns are 30th. So again, the advantage goes to the Browns in the running game. Of course, the Browns have a really good running game, actually. They're ranked 12th at the moment, but they actually were higher up there. They just, in the last couple weeks, didn't pick up as many yards. Of course, Ben Tate did just come off that injury, so you expect to see him pick up a lot of yards today. The Browns, though, they let up a lot of yards too, so don't be surprised if Bobby Rainey has a big day with Doug Martin being out and Rainey Shige's, carries. Of course, he has had some issues with fumbling the ball, so we'll see if that is a factor in the game. Then when it comes to points for and against, the Buccaneers are 27th in points scored. The Browns are 16th. When it comes to points against, the Buccaneers are 32nd, and the Browns are 13th. So the Buccaneers, they really struggle to put any points up, and they are dead last when it comes to stopping other teams from scoring, and that's why they've only won the one game. The Buccaneers, are going to have their hands full with the Browns. The Browns can put up some points. They're middle of the road, they're at 16, but they're actually heading towards, the top teams when it comes to stopping people from scoring, as they're 13th in points against. So they're right there on the edge of breaking into the top 10. And you see that the Browns defense, it bends, but it doesn't break. And that's kind of the, important thing, is that they don't let teams really put up, too much points, like touchdowns. They'll hold teams more to field goals. So expect to see, a lot of field goals potentially in this game. We'll see how it plays out, but I expect the Browns to, pick up yards on the ground, and Hoyer should have a pretty good day as well. I think Cleveland wins this one. The Bucs could give them a good game. It's possible they make it a one-score game, but I kind of feel that Cleveland's going to win this one by double digits. At least that's my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is by leaving a comment below. Very interested to read your opinions. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit the like button. And if you want more of this content, go ahead and subscribe. We bring you, upon further reviews and recaps of each and every single game, each and every single week throughout the NFL season and through the playoffs all the way through the Super Bowl. We also just got done covering the baseball playoffs. So the Giants are the new World Series champions. You can check out all our recaps from the World Series if you would like. We also cover college football. We had to take a little break during the baseball playoffs, but now the playoffs are over, so we'll be back to covering college football. We also do a weekly show, The Wedge, where we have quick picks, fantasy fortunes, a weekly rewind, and upon further review. I did not get it up just yet. It was a really busy week with everything going on, but we've gotten it up every other week so far. Try to get that up soon as possible. It takes quite a while to render. It's a really, a long show with all three of it together. I did get up, though, the quick picks and the fantasy fortune segments of the show. It's just putting them all together along with the weekly rewind. That takes a lot of time, so I do apologize for that, and I do appreciate you listening. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a good day and have a great weekend and enjoy all the sports.